The Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore is one of the nicest places to hike in Michigan, and the middle of October is one of the best times to go because the fall colors are on full display. And what better way to travel than in a homemade teardrop trailer?
Well, Lake Michigan. Beautiful as always. I'm always curious about these trees here because they seem to be trimmed off just exactly at the same angle as the ground, and I don't know if it's from the wind, or my other theory is, and I think this one is more likely, that maybe it's as the snow and ice slides down the hill. This spot is really interesting to me because all along the shoreline here there are these old trees like this that are laying down, and you can tell by their weathered look that at one point when these trees were growing, they were slowly buried by the dune. But it's really fascinating to me to think of how old these trees are, that they would have been growing before the dune moved through to the right. And if you look at how big and how high it is, I would love to know how many years that would take for that to happen. Oh, there's Mary up at the top. Hello, Mary.
Hi. What?
This is a beautiful example of a ghost forest, and these trees at one time would have been buried underneath the dune off to the right here. The other interesting thing about this spot is there's quite a few animal tracks going through here, and I suspect the deer maybe was heading down to the lakeshore to get a drink. And this is interesting because you can see where a coyote walked right through here. This spot is interesting to me because this is the remnant of a really cool tree that used to stand here years ago. And in its day, it was the most photographed tree in the Sleeping Bear Dunes Park. And I'll have to go through my photo archives to see if I can find that tree back in its glory. But it was like a pitchfork shape.
Here are some photos I took of the Empire Bluff tree back in August of 2008. You can see its amazing shape. Sadly, I took this photo the very next day. The tree had fallen overnight.
Well, once again, we find ourselves in a spot where we're walking down a trail, but it's a stretch to even call it a trail. And Mary already came through here. Oh, there she is. She waited. Oh yeah, look at the light, the sun hitting the water. Okay, here's another beautiful stretch of trail. And yeah, you don't want to fall off to the right here either. I feel like I'm not really coordinated enough to try to video and walk on this trail at the same time, but we'll try it. Well, this is quite a steep descent. Mary's way up ahead there.
There's no pictures of you coming down in these hills or up in these hills.
Yeah, well, this is definitely a lot easier going down than up.
Definitely.
After a long day of hiking, we enjoyed a nice hot shower and a campfire at the Platte River Campground.
The cottonwood is one of the few trees that can survive on the dunes, and this is interesting here because what we're looking at here is actually the crown of some trees that are much taller but have been buried by the dunes. So actually they're the main body of the trunk and the tree goes way underground, and they've slowly been buried. Looking off this way, you see Mary up at the top of the dune waiting for me to make my video of the cottonwood patiently. From the top of this dune, we see a trail that leads all the way over to the top of the next dune, and it looks like such a beautiful trail. I don't think we could possibly resist hiking down there and exploring. You can see there's gravel all over the dune, and you would wonder how would gravel get at the top of a sand dune. It's actually the remnants of the road that used to be up here for the there's like a dune buggy tour you could take where they drove you around. Now this is a real curiosity to me. We have two trees that the trunk comes out of the ground, goes horizontally, then goes back into the ground. Then if you go a little farther, the tip of the tree is coming back out of the ground up here and continuing to grow. And as you would guess, it's the cottonwood tree, because what other tree could survive out here? And this is the endangered pitcher's thistle. And this thistle, actually, I've never seen this anywhere other than the Sleeping Bear Dunes. And it's unmistakable by its kind of minty color. North Bar Lake. I love this old barn here, and there's like a farmhouse up on the hill a little ways. You can't see it right now, but one of the things I think is really cool about this spot is it looks like some kind of like fruit cellar or something built into the side of the hill here.